right, people, it's that time that you've been waiting for. Finally, we are here. And another special conversation or discussion on this week's Money Chat. And basically, I have a very special guest for you guys. Now, you know what we do here, housekeeping. First, you need to tell us where you're watching from, right? And then you need to share this link on your page so that other people can have the privilege of watching this interview. Today, we're having a conversation with the brand ambassador of the Genuine Millionaires Movement. I call it the Millionaires Club. And our conversation is not about economic freedom, because I believe people would say Zambia, after achieving its independence and celebrating its birthday the other day, we do have freedom. Now, what we're crying for is economic freedom. And that's why I felt it was best to bring one of the specialists in discussing issues relating to economic freedom. And while I introduce him, I'll be doing something in the background. Just to add more of our guests to the show. So without further ado, let me bring Chilekwa on the live feed. Chilekwa, how you doing?
Hello, my brother. It's good to see you, man.
It's great to see you. You're looking very bright.
Yeah, thank you. I'm on the
Are you
cover belt.
You're on the copper bed. Are you counting them chings?
Not really. I've come for a funeral, actually. I lost my aunt.
Yeah, I remember you told me. Which part of the copper belt are you?
I'm in Indola.
Ah, okay, all right. Okay, no, my condolences. And we are actually humbled that regardless of the situation, you've made it possible to give time and audience to our viewers. We're going to call them viewers because they're basically watching. Those that are on YouTube watching, those that are on Facebook watching, right? This live interview. Okay, so the first thing I would want to start with, the first question I'd ask you is the background behind the whole organization. How did Chilekwa Mambwe become Chilekwa Mambwe? We've come to watch on ZNBC News. We see him on social media. Everybody is discussing Chilekwa Mambwe. How did Chilekwa become Chilekwa Mambwe, the JOCHI brand ambassador? What's the background?
All right, thank you so much. To begin with, JOCHI Genuine Millionaires Movement is a movement that was born, from two different individuals with a special background. One is Dr. Joseph Mshalika, who is our CEO. This is one man whose father, lost all his pension money in a fire, that actually bent their house. Fortunately, nobody died. Only the money, the whole pension was burnt in the house, and
Yeah.
they lost everything, and
Wow.
they had to go to the village, and he became a child of a Kamalasha, a Chakobana.
Wow.
So he went through his own shenanigans. He suffered a lot, and the rest is history, because that man is now great. And yesterday, one of the ministers in Zimbabwe just called him to say, Joseph, you are needed in Zimbabwe. Corona is now a little bit over. Can you come and talk to the people of Zimbabwe over what you are doing in Zambia with JOCHI? And he actually flew to Zimbabwe yesterday. Myself, I'm a former garden boy. Like I, continue referring myself to. Dr. Mshalika met me in Indola, and at the time I was living in a garage because I had no place I could actually go home. I had nowhere I could stay. And being that's not too long ago, actually. We're talking of maybe 2 years ago, and I found myself living in a garage because at my age I couldn't imagine bothering people. So I found myself in a garage, which was actually rented for me by the current Secretary General of Kalumbira Cooperative, Mr. Colin Zulu. And so that's the time Dr. Mshalika met me. But though I was living in a garage, I used to sit on a couch outside the garage, and every evening I could take about 45 minutes just thinking on how best I could add to the economic independence of this country, regardless of my economic status then. And so when you talk of JOCHI Genuine Millionaires Movement, this is a movement that was born in Luapula province, Mansa, district in particular. It was born at a time when Dr. Mshalika Joseph actually invited me to go and talk to DEBs, POs, head teachers, senior teachers who gathered at some hotel in, at some lodge rather, in Mansa district. And we were talking to them about the power of numbers, the power of Ubuntu, how we gather, without, concentrating on or focusing only on a salary. And it was at that, business conference that Dr. Mshalika was impressed with my presentation. And after that, he said, Chilekwa, can't we do something together? Can't we form something that can help cooperatives run as a business? As you may be aware, most of the cooperatives, when you hear of them, whenever you hear of a word cooperative, you start thinking of old people in the village, those who get fertilizer, from the government. Yeah. And, a cooperative in Zambia for a long time has been a group of beggars gathered together, begging from the government. So he said, can't we come up with something that can help cooperatives run as businesses? And I told him to say, can't we make millionaires, like 100 millionaires, by the year 2025? Then he said, no, Chilekwa, we can make 10,000 millionaires by the year 2025. And I said, wow, that's interesting, and you're challenging me. So we looked at China. China, by the year 2025, has a goal of making 500,000 millionaires in dollars. Wow. And when you look at them, they are looking at
huge population. And
yeah,
500 is actually a drop in the ocean, but when you compare it to Zambia, that's a significant figure.
Definitely. So we said, okay, fine. China is making 500,000 millionaires by the year 2025. And they are making those millionaires from us Africans, because they get our copper, they get our, they are right now in Africa all over. They have a target of feeding the whole world. And what they're doing is mechanized farming all over. They are producing and exporting to the world. So when they are producing from our land and exporting to the world, they are actually improving their GDP back home. They are actually improving their household economies. And this is what Chinese people are doing. And when you look at them, they are using Ubuntu, which we are failing to use for Ubuntu. They are using Ubuntu. You call it Kibusi in Israel. You call it, is it Urambe is it Kenya? You call it Ujamaa in Tanzania. So Ubuntu is what they are using. They are even following the Bible better than us. They are not Christians, but the Bible says, go until the land. As Christians are busy in the church shouting, I receive. That kind of nonsense. Amen. I receive, I receive. You see somebody's beautiful car, you go there and you touch it. I tap. We have lost it. So for me, a Chinese is even keeping the Bible commandments better than us Zambians, because God says, go until the land, go and subdue the land. God says he has given us, God has said that he has given us power over the birds of the air, over the things in the sea, over the things creeping on the ground, meaning every animal belongs to us. What are we doing as Africans? Whenever we see a lion, we run away. A Muzungu comes to Africa, tames a lion, you can even hold its tail. They have understood the Bible better than us. Okay, go to India. They climb on elephants. Us, when you see an elephant, you run away. So us Africans need to realize that we are a blessed nation, and we can only use that which God has given us to improve our economy. Before you come in, let me excite you on something you already know. Zambia is home to 40% water bodies in Southern and Central Africa. Zambia is home to more than 58 million hectares of land, which is arable. Zambia is home to gold, copper. Now we have been told oil. You know, we are home to, you know, we are called the Switzerland of Africa by the whites because of our peace, which is good for business. Now we have the new Don government, where Bali is saying he is now the salesman and the marketer for the Zambians who are going to produce. Okay? And now many Zambians have folded their arms saying Bali shall fix it. Bali is now our marketing manager. He's not the marketing manager for every Zambian. He's only a marketing manager for Zambians that are utilizing the water by keeping the fish on Lake Kariba, Bangouru, wherever. He's now the marketing manager for Zambians that are busy tilling the land. Like my team has started a project in watermelons. My team has started a project in onions. My team has started a project in, you know, massive maize and soybean plantation. Come on. We are the people Bali is waiting for. We are the people Bali is going to be the sales marketing and marketing manager for. Not people that are just folding their arms. It will never happen. They'll be looking for another government by the year 2026. I think I've spoken a lot.
And they'll be rushing to cast a vote. Look, I wanted to discuss something interesting. Most people are looking for what they call economic freedom. We are looking at economic independence. Tell us a bit about how does JOCHI achieve economic independence?
All right. So what we are doing as a JOCHI Genuine Millionaires Movement is that we have signed an MOU with Kalumbila Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited, a primary cooperative society in Zambia. And the people of Kalumbila Cooperative, because, you know, most of these cooperatives have lacked capacity. They have come together, a group of people, you know, putting monies together, like we have actually encouraged everyone to say, you don't have to depend on the government. No government can fund all of us, okay? So a group of people comes together and, you know, that group, you find that they don't have the capacity, like there is no one. You find that there is no one who can do the books like an account. There is no one who can do, for instance, the aspect of human resource to look at who should work at a farm. There is no one who can do all these other things like water engineering, like we have done a lot of irrigation. So you find that these cooperatives, they need that kind of capacity. So how do we do that? Therefore, JOCHI Genuine Millionaires Movement comes in to actually work as an agent for cooperatives to help them run as businesses. So as I'm talking to you, we have cooperatives from doctors in Zambia, cooperatives from nurses, cooperatives from teachers, which are together with Kalumbila Cooperative, have affiliated to Zambia Savings and Credit Cooperative Society Limited. It's a union. So this union now is busy organizing resources, and together with JOCHI, we are looking into projects where we are actually, you know, doing like aquaculture. We are on Lake Kariba. We are doing, we are beginning to do dairy, but let me just mention what we're doing. We have aquaculture on Lake Kariba, which we are beginning this month end, maybe 2 days from now. We have, you know, poultry. With poultry, today we even clinched a deal with a hybrid. Okay, hybrid wants to be actually buying off every chicken, apart from us taking them to Kasumbalesa. Every chicken that we are keeping, okay? We've been keeping 6,000 birds. Now we are beginning to keep 15,000 birds every week, buying 15,000 birds. It is not a joke, my brother. It's
know,
not a joke.
I know just how
But
200 birds is a nightmare. 2 to 500 is a nightmare. Now you're talking thousands.
yeah, and you know what has made all that possible is Ubuntu, the power of numbers. So JOCHI is now, when I say we are keeping 10,000 birds, we are beginning to keep 15,000 birds. What I mean to answer your question is that this is the role JOCHI is playing by bringing cooperatives together and helping them to run as a business. And so we have these, poultry projects. We are beginning to do 2 days from now, fish cages on the lake, World Bank standard, recommended standard. We next week beginning to prepare land for soybean, for maize. These will be done for actually export. Okay, we are looking at exporting, maize, exporting soybean, and also making feed. And what will interest you is that JOCHI has now attracted Zambians who are in the diaspora. And they are all saying there is no place like home. Before we come, we want to join the cooperative movement so that we can work together. Interesting enough, JOCHI's business model for cooperatives has attracted Zambia Cooperative Federation. This is a mother body of all cooperatives in Zambia, which is headed by a director general called Mr. Chilekwa James. Now, my brother, what will interest you is that after Zambia Cooperative Federation saw our business model for cooperatives in Zambia, they said, "Wow, we have got solar milling plants which have not been used." So as we do massive maize plantation, where now civil servants from Ministry of Finance, civil servants from local government authority, local government commissions, civil servants from different line ministries are now gathering, also grouping, coming together, to form cooperatives, and they want to work with us. So all we are saying is this: Bali cannot fix it alone. Bali can fix it with people of Zambia that are coming together to listen to his voice, where he's saying, can you form cooperatives and companies? And these are the people who, when Bali says, we are now exporting 5 million metric tons of maize, and these people have grown the maize, these are the people who are going to benefit from that presidential, pronouncement. That 5 million metric tons will bring in forex in the country. And then it won't only benefit Zambia, it will also benefit the people of Zambia who are producing in these companies and cooperatives. Whilst other Zambians will be folding their arms, waiting for Bali to fix it, us will be fixing it with Bali. And us will be getting rich. And us are going to have economic independence. Therefore, my brother, no one should lie to anyone. There is no president in this world who can fix it alone. And that's why we are saying, can Zambians join what we are doing so that together we can deliver this country from the shackles of poverty?
I like 2 aspects of your JOCHI. One aspect is the cooperatives aspect. The other aspect is the individuals that also put money into the projects. Now, explain 2 things. How does a cooperative join JOCHI movement? And also, how does an individual who could be in the diaspora, on the copper belt, China, America, how do they join and become part of this movement?
Wonderful. So what is happening is that JOCHI is now working like I mentioned, as an agent. Okay, and JOCHI has done an MOU with Kalumbira Cooperative, an MOU with Zambia Savings and Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited, which is a union of 185 cooperatives. And an MOU now is coming up actually with the mother of cooperatives, which is Zambia Cooperative Federation. So what JOCHI is doing is that JOCHI is bringing people on board who are joining the projects that belong to these cooperatives. One thing that we have done is that we have created a portal which we are launching next week, I believe with the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises, we're writing to them. So this portal is where these people that belong to these cooperatives are actually having accounts opened, where they'll be able to see themselves. They'll be able to see themselves as in where they have put shares. As you know, cooperatives deal with shares. Where they have put shares. Is it in fish? They'll be able to see in aquaculture their shares and what they will be expecting at the end of the cycle. Is it chickens? They'll be able to see their shares and how many they have bought and what they will be expecting at the end of the cycle. Is it watermelons and maize, soybean, onions? They'll be able to tell, exactly how many shares they have in onions, in watermelons. When the harvest time comes for watermelons, they'll be able to know, okay, the sales have been done, and these were my expectations, and this is what I've received in form of, shares or rather dividends. Okay, so we have actually worked it in such a way that we have also written to Security, Exchange Commission, to guide us. We have also actually involved the A+ General Insurance. This is the company that is found along Zambezi Road. They are in Roma. A+ General Insurance has insured our chickens. They are coming on board to insure our fish, so that the people that are coming in these cooperatives to invest, they are not going to actually face losses anyhow. They must be a cover by the insurance company. So my brother, to be honest with you, I believe myself that for Zambia to actually have an economic independence, Zambians must realize that, my brother, where you are seated there, the t-shirt you are wearing was not made in Zambia. It is foreign. The trousers, the vest, what I'm wearing, foreign, including my shoe, which is from China, foreign. We literally own our bodies only. We own nothing in this country, and we must wake up and begin to produce if this country has to go forward. Sure.
What's amazing is that when I introduced the issue of JOCHI, and when I shared it on my platform, I think to a large extent people were wondering whether I was telling a lie or whether it's a Ponzi scheme I'm trying to connect them to. Because JOCHI sounds too good to be true. In terms of returns and whatnot. Is one question someone asked: if I subscribe to JOCHI, how much money can I put in as my investment? What are you looking at as monies that people can put in? Okay, because at the end of the day, you're asking people to want to put in money, but at the same time, there are other activities taking place where they are not directly involved, right? But at the end of the day, there will be a return on the money that they are putting in. So, how much do I get to invest if I want to join JOCHI?
Wonderful. Actually, like I mentioned, we are an agent of cooperatives. We are like a consultancy. We are helping cooperatives actually. We are helping cooperatives run as a business. So you find that, for instance, I'll give an example, very good example of one project that the 185 plus cooperatives are involved in: the watermelon project, the chicken project, which is poultry, the onion project. So what we are following is we are following the bylaws of the cooperative societies. And in these bylaws, I'll give you an example. Most of the cooperatives we are with have 300 kwacha as the minimum, a share capital that one has to put in. And we have put it that way. The reason being simple. We have a lot of people from the diaspora, most of them who can manage to put in actually more than 20,000 kwacha. But here is the situation. A cooperative society is here to help Zambia with economic, independence. So we have obeyed what is, we have remained obliged to what is in the Cooperative Society Act. which says that a 300 kwacha can be a minimal, share capital. And so that is where we are beginning from. Then because we have got people that are very powerful financially, we have not left it open for people to actually invest. We have not left it open to say you can invest anything, okay? Because we will end up, those with little money may end up working for those with more money. So we have actually limited, put a limit according to a project. There is a limit one can actually put in. But get me right, that is according to a project. So we have, for instance, in poultry, the minimum is 300 and the maximum is 20,000 kwacha. Okay, and we have got other projects like the aquaculture. The minimum is 300 kwacha. The maximum is 15,000 kwacha. So we have experts that are actually doing that. So again, I still come back to this. I've seen someone ask a question there to say, what does JOCHI, stands for? JOCHI is Joseph for J-O and Chilekwa for C-H-I. If they heard me right, in my preamble, I mentioned how this company was born, how this agent consultant company was born. It was born in Mansa district in Luapula province, and two men met with interesting backgrounds. One was a child of a Kamalasha. The other one was a former garden boy who was sleeping in a garage. I used to be a garden boy when I was going to school in at secondary level anyway. But I was living in a garage after I quitted my job to do my own thing, like 2-3 years ago. So JOCHI is from Joseph and Chilekwa, but Genuine Millionaires Movement, that is now to finish the name. And this is one institution that has actually worked so far, so good, very well with a cooperative society model. So anyway, all I can say is that there is a limit to which someone can put in money. That is to favor the people that don't have a lot. And there is a minimum that people have to start with. It is only a 300 kwacha. Sure.
That's totally amazing. I know if there are any questions, people, please do post your comments, right, very quickly. This interview is supposed to be 30 minutes long, so we're not going to take too much of Chilekwa's time, right? What I'll do at this point, since we've introduced, I know we're going to have more conversations relating to JOCHI. I would like to believe I think you've hit a home run on this one, So what I'll just do is just give a few minutes, right, for people to ask whatever questions that they may have, anything that you may want clarity on. Please do post, and then I will share with Chilekwa, and then he will be able to answer you. Okay. Now, is there anything you would like to add relating to the works? Because I believe we've answered the question when it comes to, or in fact, here's the question. Here's an interesting question. What are your budget expectations from what the speech tomorrow will have? And in relation to JOCHI, what are your expectations when it comes to the budget speech? What are you hoping to hear from the new Dawn government and its Minister of Finance?
All right. My expectation, first and foremost, before I even go to health, I'll go to wealth. I believe that if we can create enough jobs, if we can, support serious entrepreneurial activities, that are done by genuine Zambians, we can avoid having a lot of people that are sick in hospitals. So for me, I'll put up one serious expectation, which is going to actually help the government, spend less on many other, sectors of our, nation going forward. I would like the government to put in a lot of money where agriculture is concerned, where a small and medium enterprise ministry is concerned, where Ministry of Commerce is concerned. So I would like the government to actually take care of the small and medium enterprise, and there should be enough money allocated to that. But here is the thing, the government should, by all means, as they put in money in that regard, should by all means avoid giving money to cadres. By all means, because this is a problem that we had in the past regime. You find that the president up there may have a good heart to say, okay, fine, we're going to empower the youth, we're going to empower those in businesses. But when you look at the people that were getting the money, the people that were getting the contracts were purely cadres. I mean, I don't want, I don't have to apologize to anyone. This is a fact. We saw it. We tried as a cooperative. Some of us were even mistaken for cadres to say, just because I was found in the President's State House. So you find that when we spoke to the president, it was one story. When we went to the ministers, we find that those who are in charge of serious funding that could have improved the cooperative society model could not entertain us. Those people, some PSCs who had access to serious funding that could be put in our serious business plans, they were not there for us. So I pray that the new Dawn government will actually put in monies that will help people that are doing serious businesses. They should not fund individuals. They should fund organizations. I like what Bali has said. President Bali has said he's encouraging Zambians to form companies and cooperatives. Therefore, let the new Dawn government avoid giving money to people that have got nothing to show for, to people that have got no background of business, to people that have got no single project they can point at. They should not, experiment to say form startups. Let them go to people that have projects that have the background, projects that have got something to show for, projects that have got evidence that indeed they are employing people, or they have got potential to employ many suffering Zambians. So the budget that is coming, I expect a lot to go to agriculture and a lot to go to actually beefing up entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial activities that are already going on. Because when you do that, there will be no poverty in Zambia. Because a lot of people we have in hospitals, it is not any sickness apart from Inzala. It's just poverty that has taken a lot of people. Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I would like you to preach. I would like you to preach. And I would want you to use the Bible to explain this. I'll start it off by saying, when Jesus put on the thorny crown, remember that the thorns were used to block the Garden of Eden. But Jesus wore the crown of poverty. He was a king for the poor people. You understand? So we're not allowed in this dispensation to be poor. Yeah, because that sin has been wiped away. And in Joshua 5, it talks about the shame, God removing the shame on God's people after the circumcision. He says that shame you've been wearing, you don't wear it anymore. So now we're looking at Zambians who were looking at the West as giants and telling themselves, these are giants, we cannot do business with them. That's why we're calling them foreign investors and we're bringing them into the country. Now, I would like you to use the JOCHI style, the Chilekwa style of preaching that I know, using the Bible to justify why we must be wealthy in this dispensation. That will be my closing question, and thereafter we'll be able to close. So please, take it up.
Oh, thank you so much. When I look at the Bible is very clear. Very, very clear. When Christ comes, he's going to tell us to say, the sheep and the goats this side. And when he looks at the sheep, you say, when I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in the hospital, you visited me. And they'll ask him, when did we do that? And you will say, when you did this to the least of my brethren, you actually helped me. So you sheep, when you sheep, go to the right. Then akalolesha pambushi, and you will say, Mwembushimwe. When I was hungry, you didn't give me food. When I was naked, you didn't clothe me. When I was in the hospital, and they will say, when did we do this? And you say, when you did not do this to the least of my brethren. So I'm not insulting. A goat in Bemba is imbush. Okay? So mwembushimwe and impanga. So now here is the thing. When you look at Jesus Christ, there is a time he fed the 5,000 men, and that was regardless of counting women and children. 5,000, meaning there were more than 5,000 people. And the disciples went to Jesus and said, Master, people are hungry. Let us release them because they will stop listening to the word. And Jesus said, what do you have? The disciples said, we don't have anything. And Jesus said, what do they have? They said, there's only a little boy with, is it 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread? Excuse me. Therefore, the master said, bring that food. And what did he do? Jesus blessed the food and it multiplied. Now, what does that tell us? Because Christ had the power to actually just pray and then manna was going to fall from heaven. But you know what that means? Jesus was going to destroy us. He was going to destroy our thinking capacity. Our mentality was going to be, someone has to provide for us. But when he asked them, what do you have? It simply meant that he can only bless us from what we have. That's point number one. Point number two, there is a widow in the Bible who went to the prophet Elijah and said, my husband died and I'm in debt. The prophet said, what do you have? And she said, I have but a little oil. I have but a little oil. And so, when the master went there, don't bang the door. When the master went there, when the prophet went to this lady and said, bring the oil that you have. Then he said, go and look for empties before she could bring the oil. She looked for empties, a lot of them. And the prophet blessed the oil and it multiplied. What does that mean? God can only bless us with what we have. Let me give you the last example. The man who delivered the children of Israel, from Egypt, from the hand of Pharaoh, crew of Pharaoh. The Lord Jehovah asked Moses, what do you have? Because he said, how can I deliver them from the hand of the great Pharaoh? He said, what do you have? He said, I have but only a staff in my hand. He said, drop it. It dropped and it turned into a miracle, a miraculous snake. Moses ran away from the staff. So he used the staff to deliver the children of Israel from the hand of crew of Pharaoh. What does that mean? God can only bless us with what we have. Now, let us look at Zambia and the people we fear the West. Yeah, thank you. When you look at Zambia and the people we fear the West, you find that the West have brains. They think on how they can use the natural resources that we have to make themselves wealthy. The Chinese use their brains to use the copper we have, the land we have, the mukura we have, the rosewood we have. And us Zambians, what do? We step back and start clapping for them to say they are very powerful. The question is, are we going to be saved from the wrath of God on the day of judgment when God realizes that he gave us all the water, all the land, all the mukula, all the rosewood, all the mineral wealth, and yet we have failed to use our brains to make money out of them. And we are only waiting for a white-collar job. We are only waiting for Bali to employ us. Are we going to be spared by God? I believe a lot of us, God would punish us. He would punish us. We have enough water. We have enough arable land. We have enough mineral resources to actually use what God gave us, to be wealthy as a nation. Lastly, my brother, let me communicate this to Zambians. When you look at JOCHI and what we are doing with cooperatives, already the government through the Ministry of Small Medium Enterprises has actually called us. When you look at JOCHI, we simply said, guys, what do we have? And we said, we have got water in Lake Kariba, on Lake Kariba. This month, and we are beginning to do fish cages. Are we supposed to get money from the government? Or are we going to get money from the government? Hell no. We have already started putting money in our crowdfunding, my brother. We have enough money this month end to start putting up 4 cages of fish on Lake Kariba. We have put our monies together. We have enough monies, my brother and Ken, enough money, and we are buying 6,000 beds every week. Now beginning to buy 10 to 15,000 beds every week. Where is our market? The population of Congo and Angola put together, that is 100 million people. That is our market. When you look at this province, Northwestern province, I was there on Sunday, and we talked business with those people on Monday. We said we are beginning to do cassava, massive plantation of it in Northwestern, massive plantation of it in Luapula province. That cassava will join Nigeria, who are #1 exporter of cassava to the whole world. They export about 20% needed for ethanol production, and they are actually exporting 57 million metric tons, when Zambia is not even found amongst the top 20. Busy looking for jobs in the mines, busy looking for jobs in the government. We are saying enough of that nonsense. We Zambians are getting together. We are uniting, and we are going to produce enough cassava, enough maize, enough everything, because God has given us the land. God has given us the water. God has given us the mukula and all the mineral resources. My brother, this is a Zambia we want. This is a Zambia we are here to build. And believe me, you, looking at the scripture, God will bless us only with what we have. Thank you.
I'll tell you what. 2 things that are concluded. First thing is, for those that want to join JOCHI, they can inbox me. We have created a WhatsApp group. In it today, I saw people actually confirming in the WhatsApp the Airtel Money subscription number that was shared to say, what name does it come under when I'm sending? Then they came back and said, Genuine Millionaires Movement. I was like, but that's the company name. Okay, so they can inbox me, and then I'll add them to a WhatsApp group, okay, where people, the farm manager, the PA to Chilekwa Mambwe is equally in that group. They will be able to share and interact with the members that are joining that group. And once you subscribe, you graduate into other forums that JOCHI has already created. Guys, understand one thing: we can't attend to all of you one by one. That's why we're putting you in a WhatsApp group, because it becomes easier for that communication, so that everyone can be taught at a specific time. So when we tell you 1930, that will be the time that the presentation will be done. Then you get to know that it's 1930 that the presentation will be done, so that everyone is waiting and they can ask questions and respond at that particular point. Then the other point I wanted to talk about was, when you talked about the woman with oil, the woman who was in debt, the person that came to mind is the finance minister.
Yeah,
because she was never forgiven for her debt. She paid her debt because of the work she did, because of the oil she ended up selling. Remember, that was a period when there was actually a famine. People were starving.
Yeah.
So oil, they are one of the most wealthiest people in the place. So we're saying, the moment we have the fish, the chickens, the cassava, we automatically start becoming the wealthiest people in the southern part of Africa. And all of a sudden, we now start to pay our debt. You get the point? And that's something that I think Minister of Finance should take lead in understanding when he's giving us the budget speech, and when he's making budget commitments. It has to be a very enterprising, focused budget. Otherwise, there's a message there. I don't know what your comment is from Boyd Williams. You've seen that?
Well, he's saying, I love the numbers, producing enough for the world population. Yeah. My comment is simple there. Boy, thank you so much. We the people of Zambia have started uniting, and with people from the diaspora, by the way. A lot of them, I saw Ken, the group you created, I've seen a number of guys from the diaspora. Right now, we have about 60 people from the diaspora who have come on board. And they are talking of great, projects, such as that we should actually begin to produce also our own feed, okay, our own mealie meal, okay. For instance, the group, when he talks of numbers, when you talk of the massive maize plantation, we want to make our own mealie meal, which we are going to eat next year, okay, which we are going to eat and export next year. And that's where ZCF has come on board, Zambia Cooperative Federation, to give us Vigayo, those solar milling plants, to make our own millionaire's choice mealie meal. So, numbers don't lie. And for me, allow me, my brother, to mention this. Our president of this republic right now needs our help. Believe me, for me, when I look at President Hakainde Hichilema, and I look at the mentality, the mindset of Zambians, the majority of Zambians, I feel for him. Because a lot of them are only expecting him and his government to deliver. And those in opposition, most of them will even mock him. But believe me, the president needs our help. We need to help him. Because right now, most of the Zambians have folded their arms. Most of the Zambians have actually sat back. And they are saying, Mr. President, deliver. Deliver what? We need to get together as the people of this nation. I like the way the civil servants under our cooperative society model are uniting, and together we are going to deliver this nation from the shackles of hands of poverty. Because even the issue of the budgets have been read in this country before. Reading the budget in parliament is one thing. We can be given even a 10 trillion US dollars as a nation today, as long as we don't change the mindset of dependability on the government, we are going nowhere.
Thank you very much, Chilekwa. I think that was the height of it all. Until next time, I think you and I will be doing regular chats where we'll be updating people on the progress JOCHI is making. And with your permission, I'll probably be able to share some of the videos of the success stories that JOCHI has been achieving, and things that people have actually done. I saw the onion plantations. I was amazed by them. Okay. Benny Musonda has just dropped us a message before we leave.
Yeah, he's saying the mindset change must start. It's a new dawn and a new thinking. You want my comment on that?
Yes.
Yeah, my comment is simple. The mindset change must start, because if it doesn't start, the new Dawn government will be kicked out of power by the year 2026. Why? The mindset that we have right now is very dangerous. The youth of Zambia are the majority, and they are the most, delicate people. We need to put the right mindset in them so that we show them that entrepreneurship is the way to go. When a lot of youth are involved in these entrepreneurial activities, you find that they are going to help the government of the day, with development of this great country. Otherwise, if we don't help them, if they remain with the same mindset of expecting Bali to provide for them, believe me, it's going to be bad for the new government. So we need to begin the mindset change program as soon as possible.
Benny Musonda is one of the people that have joined JOCHI. I hope he has paid his subscription and filled in his form. He's one of the people that responded to our call. So thank you very much, Benny Musonda. I believe a lot of your questions, a lot of those gray areas you're wondering have been answered. So guys, it's been good. I have to let Chilekwa go now. I think we've done more than we actually said we'd do. We are like 50 minutes into what was supposed to be a 30 minutes conversation.
Yeah.
But it's a good one for those that, people, please share this on your timeline, tag your friends, bring them on. By the way, just to give an example, this is what someone did for us. We're in the background, we didn't see this, right? this is basically what happened in the background. You see it. Boyd Williams tagged all these people so that they can watch this video. Do the same. Tag as many people. Share with as many people. Let people hear this economic independence message. Let them join JOCHI. Let them participate in the process of becoming millionaires of this nation. Thank you very much, Chilekwa. It's been a pleasure and an honor to actually host you. I've been looking forward to this day.
Thank you so much. And all I can say is Zambians should know that we just celebrated the 57th birthday of this country, 57 years old and broke, because we are only politically independent. Now we need the economy in our hands. Thank you so much, Ken.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll remove you first from the chat so that I can give my closing remarks and also give homage to our sponsors who are keeping us alive and making sure that we keep doing what we're doing. So let me just quickly do some housekeeping. I'll need to hold you for a bit, then we'll have our conversation a bit later. So for now, uh, we were just speaking to Chilekwa, who has been part of this conversation today. Now, before I go, I just want to pay homage to our sponsors for making sure that this money chat basically keeps happening every other week. So before we exit, let's just say run our sponsorship.